Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Learning Kitchen Live. My name is Colleen and I'm one of the dietitians here with Community Servings. So this week we are going to be making cinnamon holiday energy bites. It's that time of year when a lot of people are swapping cookies or having dessert exchanges. So I thought this would be a good recipe to share if you need to make something very simple quickly to pull together for the holidays. Before we jump in, just a reminder to everyone that a link to the recipe will be posted in the comments after today's video has concluded, and we'll also include a survey there. We'd love to hear your feedback about Learning Kitchen Live. So, I love this recipe for a number of reasons. One, you don't have to bake anything, so everything comes together in maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And the second being that there's only 5 base ingredients, so really simple. With that, we'll start with the oats. So I have about a cup of quick acting oats. You could also use the old fashioned. I'm just gonna pulse these in my food processor until they start to grind down into a grainy flour. So that's all set, and that's the only grain that's going into this recipe. So if you're using certified gluten-free oats, then this recipe can easily be done gluten-free. It's also an allergen-friendly recipe because there's no nuts, there's no eggs, so it's pretty easy to accommodate for a variety of different audiences or people that you may be hosting over the holidays. So the other ingredients that go into this quick 5-ingredient recipe are about a half a tablespoon of ground cinnamon, and this is really the star of the show. That's where all of the flavor is going to come from. I also have about a half a tablespoon of maple syrup. You could also use honey, or honestly, if you didn't have either of those, just a little bit of water, because you're probably getting plenty of sweetness from all of the dried fruit that is going into this, but that's just going to create a little bit more moisture to hold everything together. I'm going to throw in just a pinch of salt to balance out some of the sweetness. And last but not least, some dates. So dates are part of the stone fruit family, similar to peaches, nectarines, or cherries, which just means that they have a pit in the center. I bought dates that were already pitted, so I don't have to worry about that. But if you can't find these at the store, you just want to make sure that you're taking the pit out before you put it in the food processor. Dates are usually eaten dried, and they're very popular in the Middle Eastern part of the world just because they grow very plentifully there. But they provide a really great sweet flavor to the base of this recipe, and also a nice sticky texture to hold everything together. Because this doesn't contain eggs, which would usually bind everything together when you're baking cookies, this is kind of substituting for that, and it's going to hold everything really nicely. Dates are also really a nutrition powerhouse food. They have a lot of fiber in them. They're really high in potassium, in phosphorus, in magnesium, in copper, calcium, so beneficial for a lot of different health conditions. So with that, I'm going to blend the rest of my ingredients together until it starts to form kind of a sticky dough that I can press into with my fingers and start to shape into those energy bites. All right. Yep, so we're looking good here. Now this is where the recipe starts to get a little bit more fun. You can add in some more add-ins depending on what your flavor preferences are. So I have 1/4 cup of dried cranberries or craisins. You could also include maybe some shredded coconut, some dark chocolate chips, maybe some nuts if you don't have any allergies in the household that you need to accommodate for, some flaxseed or chia seed. So there's a lot of different ways to really bring your creativity to this, to make it different for different parties that you might be going to, and really make this recipe your own. So I'm just going to mix all of this together, and then we'll start to shape them into our energy bites. And you could blend these into the batter, but I like to have the whole piece of cranberry there too, just to kind of shine through. I halved the recipe today, so this is going to make about 10 energy bites, but if you made the entire recipe, there should be enough for about 20, which is about the same that you would get out of a typical batch of cookie dough. So we'll just roll these together. Really all there is to it. The last thing you could do if you're feeling a little bit adventurous is roll them in some more ground cinnamon, some powdered sugar, some cocoa powder. So there's a lot of different ways to really give it that final festive flair. But I'm going to continue rolling these all out. They're pretty nutritious snack, less than 100 calories per bite, only about 15 grams of carbs. And a lot of that's coming from these natural sugars that are found in fruits. So I hope that you give this recipe a try at home as a quick, easy holiday snack. And we hope to see you again on Learning Kitchen Live in 2023. Happy holidays.